All right, so today was supposed to be a day of some type of decision in the Senate. There were two proposals up. Which would win? Neither. Both failed. The Democrats' plan, however, did score more votes than the president's in the GOP-controlled Senate. There was some attrition in the ranks. Why? Republicans like Susan Collins broke ranks. Let's bring in the senator right now from Maine. Senator, thank you very much for joining us.
Glad to be on your show, Chris.
So, Senator, give me cause for hope. Your colleagues are leaving. I keep being told, no, there's not going to be any end to this anytime soon. You say maybe there will be an end soon. Why the optimism?
I actually saw signs of progress for the first time since the shutdown began today. First of all, we did consider on the Senate floor two separate plans. I voted for both of them that would have resulted in the reopening of government. That's progress. We haven't been debating plans on the Senate floor that would have made a difference. So that led to negotiations that are ongoing between the Senate Republican leader and the Democratic leader, and I'm hopeful that those will bear fruit.
You signed both bills. I think there were 6 or 7 senators, I have a list of them, that voted for both. Help me understand that. Isn't this about either saying the president should get the money he wants for the wall or he shouldn't? How do you vote yes for both?
I voted yes on both because my top priority is to reopen government. This is the longest shutdown in our history, and it's harming 800,000 federal employees and their families. It's causing them to struggle to pay their bills without paychecks. There's going to be a second missed paycheck very soon if we don't solve this. And it's interfering with small businesses, people who need government assistance. It has widespread impacts on our economy and our people, and it has to be brought to an end. So I'm for any reasonable plan that will bring it to an end.
You think the president is being reasonable? Do you think he gets the pain that you just articulated with his comments about, they'll make adjustments? And, his daughter-in-law is saying, this is pain for you, but it's for a greater cause. And his cabinet member saying, I don't understand why they'd have to be waiting online for food. Do you think he gets the pain that he's causing?
There's plenty of blame to go around on this shutdown, but I'm not sure that the president fully understands what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, as a lot of people in my state and elsewhere do.
As for McConnell, Senator, he could have put votes up weeks ago that may have well ended this shutdown. He had bills on his desk that he knows you guys had voted for in the past. He didn't put them on because the president told him not to.
The problem is that for Senator McConnell to go forth with a bill, which I'm very glad that he did today, that he knows the president is going to veto. I think he felt, and I don't mean to speak for him, but seemed rather pointless. Look, we've got people who are being intransigent on both sides of the aisle. For Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, to say not 1 penny or not $1 for any kind of physical barrier on the southern border, when in the past she's voted for physical barriers.
You're absolutely right. Susan, Senator Collins, I come to you very often because you are a straight shooter in a way that is not easy to find in Washington, D.C. I know that Nancy Pelosi answered a question by saying, no, maybe I'd give him $1, but not $1. But you do know that Democrats have over $1 billion on the table right now. They offered $25 billion over 5 years before. They've always offered money for physical barriers. Is it fair to hold Pelosi to that political answer when you know that they have money on the table?
Well, I'm glad to see that there are some in the House who seem to be breaking away from what she said, but that is, in fact, what she said. Listen, I think the most encouraging thing is 16 of us, 8 Republicans, 8 Democrats, were on the floor after the votes today. And we said we'll draft plans to try to reopen government. And that's significant that the rank and file members of the Senate are coming forward and saying this cannot stand.
How do you work in good faith with the other side when you have the president interjecting things that are almost seemingly designed to blow up any negotiations? Did you hear the things he said today about a deal and him having other alternatives, and here's what he's going to do, and we found this money, and then putting out that they had the money to put $7 billion into a wall? You know that all of that is kryptonite to the other side. Is that helpful?
Well, it isn't helpful. I think it would be more helpful if the president let Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell try to negotiate a plan, and I can assure you that the 16 of us are proceeding to negotiate a proposal as well. And
is McConnell allowed to negotiate, Senator, by the way, or is he still just the president's proxy?
He is clearly negotiating and wants this to end. He apparently had a good first meeting with Chuck Schumer. They're finally talking. I wish this had happened a month ago, but at least it's finally happening. And as far as the president's use of emergency powers, I think that is very dubious from a constitutional perspective. I don't think the president can take money that Congress has allocated for specific purposes and then repurpose it to build physical barriers, walls, fences, whatever.
If you had to take a guess, an educated guess, a hopeful guess, do you think there will be a shutdown next week or the week after?
My best guess is the end is in sight.
Good.
I hope it will be by the end of next week. I am just sick that this has gone on so long. And that's why I supported both proposals today. And I've co-sponsored a Democratic bill to have a 3-week or a 2-week continuing resolution that would reopen government while we continue to negotiate the border security issue.
Senator Susan Collins, I know you're very busy. Thank you very much for taking time to be on the show.
Thank you, Chris.